Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about Raised by Wolves Season 2, Episode 3. What a doozy of an episode this was. Wow. Wow. Quickly, non-spoilers, and then we'll just go straight into spoilers, because how do you talk about this show without talking about the spoilers? Because it is really, really balls to the wall. And just to kind of get into it, you have to talk about spoilers. But as non-spoilery as possible. You know how in the episode 1 and 2 review I said how they are starting off as grounded as you possibly can for a show about this sort of stuff, and then they're slowly upping the ante like they did in season 1. It would appear that I was right and they're doing it again. But whether it's because I'm acclimatized to it because of season 1 or not, I don't know. But this one seems to be a bit better. Yeah, it's up in the ante. There's a lot of sort of narrative threads being woven here. The trust, what the issue is with the trust. Ooh, can we trust the trust, that supercomputer? I don't believe so in any shape or form. The serpent makes another appearance. Again, I'm trying to breeze past it as non-spoiler as possible. The interaction that they weave between mother and father in this is truly the best part of the show. It really is. Looking through these androids' eyes on the world and their moralistic approach and the humanity that they bring to the world, above and beyond what the atheists have, above and beyond what the Mithraic have. It's interesting, isn't it, how the two human factions are less human than the androids. The androids always bring more humanity. And they are different in their approach. And I feel like what we saw in season 1 was the downfall of Mother, succumbing to like hubris and desire and, sins basically, right? And succumbing to her humanity. Now what I feel like we're sort of getting with season 2 is a little bit of that with Father. This episode specifically, it pretty Father heavy, and he's such a good actor. Such a good actor. So, let's talk spoilers. Let's talk spoilers. This is bloody great. So, spoiler warning. Mother is off chasing the serpent again, number 7. Her baby, her child. And it's interesting. So, she's out there walking around in the wilderness, and she comes across a trap which the atheists have set for the serpent. So she shoots it. And they come out, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just see what the trust has to say then, blah, 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 blah. Notify the trust that Mother's going off in search of the serpent and is going to kill it. And he says, accompany her. Literally just, follow her then. No specific, commentary past that. Literally just, follow her. So she scales up the mountain. And there's an interesting interaction between her and the leader of those atheists. We've seen him in the episode 1 and 2. She says, why don't you get your eyes fixed? He doesn't really reply too much. And then she says, you're wearing someone else's eyes, aren't you? You have someone else's eyes. And he doesn't reply. Well, he does reply, but it's also negligible. It's interesting, isn't it, how Mother can quite literally relate to that because she doesn't have her actual eyes. But I think there's definitely some, they're setting the stage for something there. And they seem to be setting the stage for her getting her eyes back as well. You can't give us the necromancer and then not have us have the necromancer again. Like, you just can't. So anyway, she finds the serpent. She offers the serpent blood. Serpent doesn't want it and goes to eat a pumpkin instead. It's a herbivore. Now, what that indicates is that it wasn't the serpent that killed the colonists. They ran away from the serpent, and then what they thought in episode 2 was that the serpent pulled the cargo container into the ocean. But it can't have been the serpent because, one, it's not interested in eating anyone. It's not aggressive, apparently. But secondly, its body can't withstand the acidic, sea, the ocean. So, one, there's a really big monster in the ocean, which I cannot wait to see. Because they've had something quite interesting about all of the wildlife on this planet. There is an interesting element there. The planet itself is very interesting. So I liked that. But anyway, they then go and take the serpent back to the camp, and they're just sort of interacting with it. They're going to run some tests, and that's basically it. But then it does turn out that, I think the name's Laura, the Mithraic atheist turncoat, basically knows that it's Mother's child. She's aware, which is, okay, fine. It'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Marcus gets a new congregation. The humans, the atheists, the Mithraic that Father was going to sacrifice. They have another fight. And Father gets knocked out, basically dead again. And he's starting to go a little bit on the fritz, but not. So he's been sort of recreating this weird android synthetic robot thing in a room, hasn't he? Now he's spilled some of his fuel blood on it, and it started to grow. So he's in search of giving it more and more fuel blood. But they've also laid the foundation for him, I believe, to transfer his consciousness into it. I think so, anyway. Because there was dialogue from one of the Mithraic kids. Campion, sorry. It was actually Campion saying, yeah, you can transfer your consciousness. You're really sturdy, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, why would a father want to outlive his son? And Campion's like, well, because other people should benefit from you. You're great. Which is lovely. Like, it's touching. Again, it's that humanity side of things that we don't see from the other Mithraic and atheists. We just don't see it. So then he's in search of this blood, and he goes into a massive fight with another robot at like an atheist camp. Like an offset village of some description, where they're just not focused on paying attention to the trust. That's what it looks like anyway. And you can see him. He beats the robot, but you can see he's really taking in the applause. He's loving the applause. So there's a few things that indicates to me. One, I still think he's going to change bodies, or try to. And what I think there's the potential to happen is that they will try to set the stage that he's going to transfer his consciousness, and then maybe he won't, and then there'll just be another robot there instead, or a blending of the two, an amalgamation. I don't know. I don't think they will get rid of the actor, because the actor's so good, and it's him and Lamia, those two, their interaction, those two characters just make the show what it is. So I don't think they're going to get rid of it. Now, Paul and Campion obviously followed that robotic girl back to the camp. And then they go off to warn Marcus again, because the Trust informed Paul that there's going to be a death squad going out to kill Marcus, basically. Now, the Trust gave Paul Mouse again. Now, there's probably going to be some form of tracking device in Mouse. It's pretty apparent, I would say. And Paul is going to inadvertently lead the atheists to Marcus. That's what I think will happen. And it will be revealed, I think, it will be revealed like, oh, I said it'd be 24 hours. You literally did it for me. It was 24 hours. I'm guessing, anyway. Marcus is an interesting character. He's really been changed. I don't know what's changing him, though. Like, all the stuff on his face, like, is pulsating and moving, and it's really strange. He's more powerful than a human should be. He's managing to pull Father around and beat the living crap out of him. There's something going on with Marcus. And this signal, this weird signal. And it'll all be linked to something somewhere along the line, I'm sure. But the threads that they're weaving now, it does feel like they're going to lead to some answers, right? They're asking a lot of questions, or they're making us ask a lot of questions, but it does feel like they're going to lead to some answers. So there you go. I really liked the skeletal android thing on the bench. I thought they did a really good job with that. Like, the set pieces are great in this. Costume's great. Good effects. Really enjoyed this episode. What do you guys think, though? I'm enjoying just watching something weird, just being like, oh, this is weird. Let me just get lost in its weirdness. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. If you are new here, then please do consider hitting subscribe. Turn the bell notifications on. Give the video a like, and please do share it. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Missed H Reviews. Thank you so much. Take care.